never learn. The same flame, and I'm always hurt, picking my pieces from the ashes on the floor. Push away, but it's killing me. Smoke lungs when I try to breathe, filling me up with doubt to hold them in my core. Oh.
And a very big hello, everybody. Welcome along to Yas Island, 25 kilometres off the east coast of Abu Dhabi. This is season 6 and round 3 under lights of what promises to be a really interesting venue to go racing. Let's take a look at the track layout. 5.2 kilometres in length, 2 massive DRS zones, and have a look at this, 16 turns, so plenty of chances for overtaking opportunities. Let's head off to our commentary team.
Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday night again, which means it's time for Novice Division. I don't know what I was doing with that. My name is Nick, and I'm joined once again by the one and only Roland Dane, also now known more predominantly as Adam. How are you?
Hello. Good, yourself? How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm excited for this one. First sprint night of the season, that's the word. So yeah, plenty to look forward to. Again, of course, no qualifying. We have the inverted top 10 standings for the top 10 on the grid. And so a fair few big players up there at the minute right now. Of course, Aston Martin lead the constructors, but it's with their own driver Panache, who has the title lead over Nameless Guy in the Alpine, and then Nico, after winning last week's race in Brazil, is now up in P3. Storm Ladder round 1 winner is in P4. So all to play for. Still only 7 points, if my maths is correct, separating those four, and of course a big amount of points on offer tonight. So we could see some shake-ups. We could see this thing blown even further wide open than it already is.
Yes, very well said there. Should be a good, nice race. Hopefully lots of action for us to cover tonight.
Absolutely. Now, a couple of things we've learned so far. From drivers practicing throughout the week, getting ready for this one, and also from last night's race in Academy, is that this track has been a bit of a spin city so far this week. Lots of I know Codemasters might be mucking around with their tyre models because it's been tricky to keep the back wheels in line on the throttle, it seems. So we'll have to look out for bust ups, I think.
Yes, should be exciting in the com box tonight. Hopefully I don't lose my head and we stay cool.
That's right. I'm a little bit confused now because I mean we've got the lobby open now. We're not going to transition to it yet, but I was my heart skipped a beat because I looked over and it said Monaco.
Yeah, surprise sprint race at Monaco.
Yeah, I know. How good is that? I'll be dead excited about that. Now, of course, our full 12-round season has been officially released now. Of course, it was originally, up until the beginning of this week, it was an 8-round season with 4 rounds that hadn't been confirmed yet, but now they are indeed in the wings. I'm just trying to bring it up now. That would be stupid if I couldn't bloody find it. I'll find it in due time. But regardless, yeah, 12 rounds rather than the 8 we've had in the last season, and I believe the last 2 seasons, if I remember correctly. And so this is round 3. Of course, this is the first sprint round, and round 6 in Canada will also be a sprint round. And I believe round 9 in China may also be a sprint round. So we'll get a fair old amount of short racing, which is always good to see. See people trying to be as aggressive as they can for to get themselves best position for the full length race later on in the night. So there we go. Looks like we'll be starting up in about 30 seconds. Of course, we want to try and get the timing a bit more right on this one since we have no qualifying to warm us all up with. So if you haven't done enough practice for this one, you're going to be chucked right in the deep end. So
good luck, fellas.
Absolutely. Best of luck to everybody out there. Here we go. Loading screen has been engaged. So heading into this now, some people we need to look out for, the likes of Snoopaloop and HK. HK performed fairly well last week. Of course, he missed the first round of the season. But what he'll be looking to do, of course, is find himself much further up in the grid, right up in the front, battling for the podium positions like we saw him do so much last season. Of course, Ferrari right now 10th in the constructors. They feel like they've got a fair amount of way to go. Snoopaloop as well. Again, we know he's got great pace. It's just a matter of putting the result together. Again, last week we saw plenty of spinning. I'm not sure. Of course, with very few exemptions. Not a lot of the racing results that we saw were indicative of people's respective pace. Another thing to mention, we've got both of our Red Bulls back this week. We didn't see either of them on the track last week in Novice Division, but we've got them both back now. It sounds like, Adam, we may have a little bit of mic crackle coming through.
All right, give me 2
Sorry,
seconds.
Sorry, no mistake, not crackle. Like
static.
Yeah, static. That's the one.
All right.
There we go. Let's move over to the game now as we get ready for that for the final starter race countdown. 20 seconds to go.
Are we fixed up now?
Beauty. Yep, can't hear a thing, so it should be perfect.
Awesome.
Alrighty. G'day to everybody in chat. We hope you have a fantastic night. We're looking like we're going to. Yeah. So they form up to the grid.
Gritty.
Post your okay, yeah, there you go. Post your your sprint win predictions in chat as the red lights start to come on. 5 red lights.
Long hole.
It was a long hole. Very good start. Oh, jump start for Crosso Dog though from the back of the top 10 on the grid. He's going to have to take a drive through. But they're all filing through turn 1. A fair few bumping and boring further back. Yellow flags are out as it looks like it's Philly and Stealth and Crosso Dog who will come together. And then the Aston Martin of Panache goes around in turn 2. It's all kicking off already. Only one sector in and there's been a massive collision. Crosso Dog's out. What happened there? Panache went around. He's got a penalty for that collision. So, yeah, it didn't take long for everything to get started in this, and we're going to have a safety car right off the bat.
Yes. There we go. Sorry, I missed that whole start. I was busy organising myself.
No worries. So, we take stock of what's happened now. Again, it's all been very quick. Of course, the AWS charts are giving us our fantastically vast pit stop strategies that you see in sprint races. Actually, I'll have a check now what tyres everybody's running. Actually, first, Trenius off the start had essentially great conversion off the line of his starting position. He maintains the lead very well. Rebelit's up from 4th to 2nd. That's very good. Jumping both of those McLarens. Stormlad and Nico have both jumped up a fair bit, as has the one and only HK. He's got a very good start as well. So, Nameless Guy holding station just behind him. So, a lot of gains for a lot of people. Look at that Skipper up 8 positions. He's our biggest mover forward so far.
Everyone is on the medium tyres as well, by the way.
Beauty, thank you for checking that for me. So everybody's on the medium. It seemed like heading into this night that would be the best choice. I spoke to it. HK came in and gave us a talking to before we went live, and he mentioned that in a sprint race with soft tyres on, you lose about 6% of wear per lap. So they'd be fairly dead after barely halfway through the race. So
back green again.
We are green again. It was a VSC. I missed that. Oh, look at that.
Salty's gone around.
Salty went round? I didn't see that down in 14th. But we've seen Stormlad going up the inside of Bevo, heading into that first hairpin as they charge down the back straight. He's now up into 4th, but Bevo looks to be wanting to retaliate. There's a little bit of jumping going around, but it is what it is in sim racing. As look through the middle goes Nico. What a manoeuvre. Oh, Bevo and Stormlight still banging doors. Not giving any... Oh, the HK goes through the middle of them as well.
There's a spinner down the back. Snooker Loop's going round in the Ferrari.
Unfortunate to see that. But his teammate's having a fantastic run of it at the minute. He's up 6 positions now already, now up to P5. Splits through the middle of between Bevo and Stormlad. Second car to do that to them since the restart, or since green flag racing resumed. That's amazing to see. Bevo runs in a bit hot coming into the third sector. He's going to sacrifice a bunch of positions to the likes of Nameless Guy and Stormlad. And then there's a fair bit of a break before you get to Man of Tin and Skipper behind. So fair amount of field spread, but it's not too bad. Trenia's coming across the line to set our first flying lap at 27.1. Fairly good pace. He's looking pretty safe at the minute. Let's see. No, I don't like bringing it up, but we've got a bit more static coming through, I'm afraid, Adam.
Alright.
It's alright, get the spanners out.
Yeah, spanners back out.
Part of getting her right, she'll be right. Yeah. Skipper's had a fairly good start as well. He's moved up a couple more positions. We've got to watch out the man behind him, SV. Of course, had a race date for last week, so we didn't see him out on track, but we've got him back here tonight. Again, he's a bit far back in the championship, so he's not. He had a fairly fair down field starting position, but we'll see how far he moves up. Of course, in the middle of a DRS train now, so it'll be tricky to see him make some manoeuvres coming into these tight hairpins at the end of these long straights. Of course, this track has plenty of overtaking opportunities, but plenty of long straights. We've got Zakov in chat giving us a good early race report. SV has front wing damage, so that will be paying dividends to his chances of climbing through the field. He has made the manoeuvre on Skipper. In fact, yeah, you can see a whole segment missing on that left side. So he'll be feeling that, especially through this section of the circuit, all these medium speed corners, where especially when you're within a second of the car in front, they'll be feeling fairly second hand. Man, who isn't though? Oh, do we have an Adam back?
Yes. How am I sounding now?
You're sounding good as gold.
All right, cool. For now.
Yep.
Sorry, I interrupted you there.
I feel bad saying that. No, it's all right.
HK just said a fastest lap of the race, if that's what you're going to say.
He sure did. No, you've got it in one. I should let you do some talking.
I'm letting the professional do his job.
Oh, mate.
As Windows comes in and sets a 26.8 for the fastest lap of the race now on the soft tyres. I think he'll be struggling towards the end.
Yeah, that's an unusual choice. I mean, obviously, it must be gunning for fastest lap now. That lot did have to come in after collisions on lap 1, it looks like, so they'll just be looking for prowess and hot laps. But it looks like this pack up the front from 2nd to 5th is really tightening up, as we have Nico trying to go around the outside of Robbie. Couldn't quite find the room because Robbie's having to go at Reblets now. He's going to go around the outside into that long left-hander. I nearly called it the Parabolica then. Very good manoeuvre. Reblets tries to keep his nose in, but he can't carry the speed with that narrower line. But that was a fantastic manoeuvre. What that corner was made for.
And watch out for Nico coming in the back. Might go down the insides of Reblets in a second, I reckon.
He's looking fairly antsy. Yeah. And we've got this whole train of cars. All these guys have shown great pace over the first 2 rounds. Oh,
that's Reblets.
Oh, and so is Nameless Guy.
Robbie's round as well.
Robbie, oh, yeah, around the last corner. Oh, and the two Alpines have come together. Skipper's out. Oh, dearie me. Davide Brivio's going to have some harsh words to... Oh, hang on. Brivio wasn't the manager anymore. Never mind. That has brought out our next... this is a full safety car now. We've got a hefty debriefing ahead of Alpine. Sorry?
Do we reckon we might see some runners in the midfield jump onto the softs, try and see if they can make a bit of a jump, obviously? All positions can. If you lower top 10, I reckon you wouldn't might want to gamble it, see what you can do.
Yeah, I think so, because by the time the safety car comes back in, you would figure there'd be 3 laps to go, so it might actually be an alright idea. You're not going to, especially if you're in the mid-pack, if you've got a bit of damage, drivers like those in the position similar to, actually I would say like SV, but he's actually in a fairly good spot now after getting around those collisions. He's now up in P6, but yeah, of course, if you're outside the top 10 especially, we're seeing a handful of tapers doing that right now. Not in the case of Nameless Guy, but the 3 behind him, chucking on a fresh set of softs, because you can sort of go all out now. The tyres should be fairly good to last these 5 laps. especially with 2 or 3 of them behind the safety car, as it looks like we're going to have.
Frenny's coming around the second last corner now. Will he dive into the pits?
It looks like he will.
Yes.
He's going to come in. I'd assume he'd chuck on softs, but the 4 cars behind him all elect to stay out on track. Will everybody behind choose to stay out? Everybody apart from old mate James. He's going to go in. He's going to chuck on a fresh set of tyres. That's going to be interesting. Are we going to see Trenny just climb through the field after this safety car comes in?
There you go. Snoop loops in as well.
Oh, is he in as well?
Yeah.
He'll be looking for some track position. This race hasn't quite gone well for him. Of course, we did see him spin early on, so it looks like he's fixing his front wing as well. So it's an all right. He's in the right position to do that. I'm confused about Trenias doing that. He had when in the green flag time we had, he was under, safe to say, no pressure from cars behind him, but he still felt the need to to come in for a fresh set of tyres.
Unless he thought everyone else was coming in the pits as well, but...
Yeah. That must have been it, but that's unusual. Luxie agreeing with us in chat. Trini, no. Couldn't agree more. But hey, he's now got the, he's going to have the sweat music on now. He's going to have, trying to think of the song. He's going to have Get Hyper by KSI on a repeat now.
I was going to say Mr. Brightside, that's a good pump-up song.
I mean, sort of see it.
That was the song I was listening to get myself in the mode for tonight, so...
Oh, there you go. You know, I don't understand why, but the song that I was hyping myself up with was Take Me to Church.
Fair enough.
I can't explain that one. I can't.
I mean, it's got a upbeat... Yeah.
I don't think it's very upbeat.
I don't know, it's just like, it's got a bit of a pump to it. It's got like the doof, doof, doof sort of thing to it. So, mate, I see it.
Okay, oh, there you go.
It's not my choice, but I see it.
I don't feel entirely insane. Now, speaking of insane, the safety car is going to stay out for another lap. Actually, no, it makes a lot of sense. We've got half the field still coming to the end of the back straight. Segways are on point tonight.
Talking about HK and Man of Tin up 9 places so far.
That is, yeah, so a very good form, especially after only 6 laps of racing. With half of them on the safety car too. Again, so far, well, one thing you can learn from racing is just stay out of trouble. You can gain a lot of time just from staying out of trouble. And that's much easier said than done. Just I'm a skipper, I'm afraid to say. But yeah, it's very interesting to see right now. We'll look to see, will HK convert that to a win? You'd be very surprised, I'd be surprised to see it. Nico has been one of those drivers where since the start of the season, his pace has just been red hot, and we saw him show fantastic pace last week in Brazil. So he is still, I'd say at the moment, he's my favourite to take this sprint race, and he's got track position as well. It's a safe bet, but that's the one I'm going with nonetheless. I'm curious to see what will happen between the likes of Zvit, Bevo, and Man of Tin. And also Reblitz as well. He'll be looking to gain background after that spin. Likewise for Nameless Guy, although he's going to be much further back down the field, obviously, after having to come in and repair his car after that spin, and also prepare his inside voice for the for the team debriefing.
Safety cars in this lap. We're about to have a restart.
Here we go. The tension will build for these last 3 laps. Looking forward to this. What are our predictions for this first sector? What we've learned from the first 2 rounds of the season is that safety cars breed safety cars. Will that tradition keep going? I'm quietly expecting, although I know I shouldn't.
I think, given the amount of cars that are out of position after the safety car, I think anything's possible. I think Troni's going to be on the move to try and make up some places, so expect shoulders out here trying to get past License Stealth and Salty before they get to the back straight.
Absolutely. We'll get 1 lap at DRS if things stay the same. Anyway, when are we going to see Nico go? Right on the apex of the last corner, it looks like we'll see him do. The camera's not looking at him, and there we go. That's exactly what he's going for. So he's got a fantastic start, or a decent start. He's got half a second in hand. HK with Stormlight breathing down his neck. We see a couple of cars running wide in the background, but it's all nice and clean. look further back. It looks like we've got no manoeuvres so far, but it's a tricky corner to overtake on that first.
And Trenny's gone down the inside, coming into where the chicane should be.
Used to be. Oh, did he bump into the back of Salty then on the run into the first hairpin?
Very close. There's a little bit of lag going on. I'm not sure if that's me or someone else.
Not sure, but it looks like this is where the action is at the minute. Check up at the front. Stormblad's keen to have a go at HK. Not quite close enough, but further back. Side by side, 2 rows deep. Snoop goes for it. Oh, he taps Trenny, but it looks like it was all clean. I've pressed the wrong button. The 2 Mercedes now side by side with the Haas underneath them. This is cars going everywhere now in all directions. They're going to go 3 wide.
Back up with the front. Stormlad's looking very racy on HK here.
Absolutely.
Then could see a dive into the tight right hand. No, keeps it in line. Happy to follow on through. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3 for Trenny's round.
Oh, Trenny's gone round, not converting the pit stop like he would have wanted.
No.
In the heat of
Would
battle.
not want to be in the...
That's a fairly late spot to lose the back end. I don't know, there may have been some contact there. I got away right to see Stormlight having a look at HK, but as we start this penultimate lap, since the restart, Nico's pulled out 2/10, so he's not got... I mean, he's got strong pace, his gap is increasing, but he's not, decimating everybody, but... Again, HK will probably be more focused on keeping Stormlad behind him as we come through this onto this second last lap. Actually, a fair bit of a gap opening up behind them. These top 4 in particular showing fairly red hot pace at the minute, and SV doing a fantastic job. I say that as he just runs wide coming onto the back straight, doing a fantastic job with that still damaged front wing.
I would not want to be in that Mercedes garage right now.
I wouldn't. It's not looking too optimal, but again, that's just all the more positions to gain in the main race. Of course, that's where
there's a massive bust up in the chicane.
Well, where's this? Let's have a look.
Reblets and
Team Panache, both the Aston Martins in there.
Sorry, I didn't catch who they were, but Snookerlip's involved again, I believe.
Yeah, looks like he may be right. He's collecting himself. He was a bit further up than where he is now. Going side by side with Philly, it looks like. Yeah, we've got the AlphaTauri old mate James. He's got no front wing. Both the Aston Martins were involved in that as well. So it's getting a little bit hectic further back in the pack.
Snookerlip goes for an Ultimate 720 there.
Oh, there we go. There's Trenny coming on by as well. So again, fortune not favouring many. Oh, look at coming out of the final corner. Stormblade trying to find any bit of pace that he can, getting any bit of drive that he can. But got to get the back end out. Well, that's going to cost him a fair bit of time. He may be a bit too far back now. And Snoop's been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. He may have been beached on the curb, not sure, but regardless, he's now out of this one. Coming onto this back straight, HK will have DRS on Nico if it's been enabled. It should have been.
I did see the pop-up come up, and the rear wing is opened.
There we go, coming down the back straight. Will he be close enough? How strong will the DRS be? It's looking fairly strong. And he's going to have to peek around the outside. Nico's got him covered. Will we see a switch back? Oh, he gets a bit taily, but he's still got a fairly good exit. He's in position. He's got a bit too good of a run. He couldn't find any place to go up the inside or the outside, and we know what Nico's going to make him do. He's going to make him go the long way around for it, work for it. But this is a corner where you can make it happen. Not quite going to work out. Right up against each other, but Nico manages to hold it. Again, HK getting a little bit taily on the exit. This track's been challenging for that this week, so it's not a surprise to see.
He comes Stormlight, reeling in that gap a little bit.
He has. He's pulled back a little bit, but it'd be hard-pressed to make a manoeuvre in these last couple of corners. Runs a little bit wide. Bevo's right behind him now, but you won't see him make a move. Coming around the final corner to round out this short but quick and hectic sprint race, it's going to be Nico who takes it home, followed by HK, Stormlight, Bevo and Zvit. So all things considered, not a bad initial return for Red Bull. We'll see if they can convert that to a similar or even better result in the main race. As we see the rest of the field come through. Panache gets bumped back behind Stealth by virtue of his penalty. And it looks like James might have had the same thing happen to him, but there you go. So, what are our take-homes from this one?
If this is anything to go by, it's going to be a very enthralling race coming up in a minute or two's time, whatever it is.
I reckon so. So right now, if we look at our top men in the championship, Nico, again, that's exactly what he would have been looking for. Against Stormlight in P4, again, that'll jump him up a fair bit too. And for the likes of Zvit, again, he wants to get back up in a championship contention. And so it's looking okay. Panache, again, not the result he would have been looking for, but important to mention, this is not the this is not the main race where the focus is. So yeah, if you get a dodgy result in the sprint race, it's not by no means the last hurrah. So we'll see what we see in this eventual race. In this race, you'd expect to see again what we typically see in this game on in 50% races is you see one-stop races, typically from starting on either mediums or the hards, and then just switching to the opposite for the last part of the race. One thing I'm not sure about. Anybody in chat would like to jump in, do the homework for me. Has this track provided much more grip with the mediums compared to the hards, or is the pace fairly similar? Because I remember over the last couple of rounds, it's been very much one or the other, and that can have a big bearing on what you start the race on, but I want to say more importantly, what you finish the race on. Of course, that's when your position matters most.
All about the fight to the final stint.
Absolutely.
The lights come back on. And we're underway again. Pretty even start at the front, I reckon.
Absolutely.
Nico gets a good... Sorry, I reckon you're a lot better than this than me at the starting.
Don't say that. Keep going, mate. Bring in the confidence. Nico gets a fantastic start. HK right in tow. Stormlight and Windows going side by side with Zvit right in behind. I've got me buttons mixed up. Further back behind now, there's going three wide, battling all up and down the field. Oh, there's a collision in the back. It looks like that's Panache who's collided with Trenny. Again, these are two big heavy hitters in the championship. They can ill afford this. Granted, this is the longest season that we've had in the ARL, but again, can ill afford this. Either they may have, didn't see if either of them picked up damage, but the two of them did collide coming through that hairpin by virtue of Panache's sideways spin. As we see, another car's gone around, a penalty's been handed out. Snooperloop's been tagged by Panache as well. Man of 10 now finds himself at the back. This has not been the night that Aston Martin would have been looking for.
As Panache has a big pile up coming out of the exit.
Collision with Skipper, it looks like, coming through. That was very unusual. We've got a virtual safety car now. Sorry, I cut forward because we had two cars going side by side in the battle for third. But yeah, it's all kicked off in the back of the field. Looks like we're all still trying to sort out our positions further back here, but we've got us ignoring yellow flags. That's an unusual one to get. So, clean racing hard to come by at the minute. it's all kicked off.
And we have one car on the softs at the moment. Nameless guy is the only car on the softs.
Yeah, that's an interesting call. Maybe it would have been... yeah, sorry?
Snooperloop, Man of 10, and Crossdog are all on the hards. Everyone else is on soft.
Yeah, there you go. So it looks like the medium strategy is the medium to hards is the prevailing strategy at the minute.
As both the house cars are coming.
They have to.
Pits. Delta's on the hards.
Nameless guy going to stick with the soft, so it must have been intentional to come through. I mean, I don't know why no mistake would happen, but regardless, the green flag racing is back underway. He probably won't be able to grab that track position like he would have wanted to with those softs, but regardless, we're back underway. Actually, front of the field's fairly spread out now. SV is now up in third. I thought it was Stormlight, but he's actually leapfrogged the two of them, both himself and Windows. So Stormlight's now back in P5, but Zvit looks like he's taken on all comers here. He's right on the back of HK already, and they'll be looking to climb up and give Nico a bit of a run for his money and a bit of a heavy headache, I think.
Brenny's already on the move up to P11 after the first lap.
He has too. So after that collision that he had with Panache, he's actually round about where he started the main race in. So not the worst start he could have had. Again, nothing like what would have been ideal, but absolutely, nothing short of recoverable. He may still have a little bit of front wing damage. I think I might have seen that as he came through.
Wing's looking alright. I'm on board with him now, so.
Okay, then yeah, he may be all good to go then. And we're seeing a flourish of fastest laps come through. A flurry, I should say. Ending up with Philly grabbing the fastest of a lot of them as DRS gets enabled. Again, purple sector's flying around everywhere. HK grabbing it this time around as they come onto the back straight. He's within DRS range as well of Nico, so Nico can by no means relax. They come from the back straight though, although they're not going particularly aggressive on the ARS. There's no need to at this stage of the race. I mean, it's only lap 3 out of 29, 10% race distance. So, especially if you're in this sort of position, you know, you're not far from the lead. You're keeping yourself within range. The likes of Windows and Stormlad may need to push a little bit. They're not quite within range of DRS to be able to hang on in the coattails, but it's by no means over yet. Speaking of, we see Philly and Bevo going side by side, exchanging positions, getting into the again, nearly said parabolica, the hairpin at the end of the second back straight.
Second time you've done that tonight. Are you okay?
I think I'm okay. Yeah, and yeah, so Philly looking pretty decent pace at the minute. Set the fastest lap last time around, has already pulled a fair bit of time over Bevo. I'm curious to see now what can he do in regards to catching up to the likes of Stormlands and Windows up ahead. Let's look at that. The top 2 exchange fastest laps of the race as well. The pace is ever
Philly
increasing.
comes in and grabs another one.
Absolutely. Good call, good call. He's setting the fastest lap of the race again. So his pace is red hot. He's the fastest man out there at the minute. Only he is slowly pulling in the gap to Stormlight. I believe it's gone down by 2/10 in the last sector. So keep your eyes open on him. He'll be challenging the top 5 pretty soon, I'm pretty sure. But right now, it looks like everything's somewhat stabilising. Of course, as soon as I say that, everything's going to hit the fan. But coming into this chicane now, again, yeah, everyone's holding station, keeping each other in close quarters. Very likely idea, I say a smart idea now, would be to just try and not use up ERS where you can avoid it. Of course, Nico must be using it a little bit now just to be consolidating his gap, so he doesn't have to deal with any pressure behind heading into these late braking zones, but conserve your ERS for a time where you're ready to attack. Of course, I am running under the assumption that these guys are just pacing each other at the minute. No need to push. Who knows, these guys could be pushing each other as far as they can at the minute. Goodness knows it's well beyond my pace.
A lot faster than anything I can do, but that's why I'm sitting up here instead of down there.
That's right. Let's rather talk than try, I'll put it that way.
As Trini's up to P10 now, so he's slowly working his way up.
He's just grabbed the position on Snooper Lip.
As Nico's
What's just happened?
Nico's retired from the session.
What a time
Full
to
safety
cut
car.
away. That's some bad luck for us.
Yeah.
Just the commentator's curse coming out of turn 3. Must have lost the back end and collided with the wall.
Where's the actual replay when you need it?
Mate, how much do we want it, Codemasters? Goodness.
So Cross-eyed, I was on board with Cross-eyed Dog as he drove past. Looks like he's got on the curb. This is all assumption, obviously.
Yep.
Got on the curb and spun him into the wall on the exit of turn 2.
So again, Spin City. Unfortunately, it's claimed the life of Nico. That sounds a bit extreme. It's claimed Nico's race.
It's a little bit over the top, I reckon, but
Yeah, we're not in VR. We're not in VR.
not yet.
Not yet. Ooh. Oh, so ARL VR division coming out next season. I've just put Bassink under the pump. You're welcome, champ. See, oh, it looks like Trenny left the session and then joined back again. Is he getting some microwave problems?
There's a good possibility of it, I reckon.
Again, who was a favourite heading into this race? Of course, he's by no means out of it. He's still up from where he started in P9, but again, not the start he'd been looking for. Plenty of time and plenty of room and time to make up for it, though. I don't think there's any cause for panic right now, especially when the gap that these now battling 2 had. Oh, Windows is in the pits. We're going to see what's going on here. Is he going to chuck on a set of hards? He is. So it looks like he's going to try and run to the end of the race on that set of tyres. That may be an alright idea. Robbie's going to follow suit by the looks of things. Let's see what he runs. As crossover looks like... Did he get a penalty for corner cutting on the safety car? Oh, that's
There's a few pitters coming in now.
Is that Salty coming in behind him as well as Meditate?
Yep.
Yep. Pit stop conga line. Okay, so this is going to be interesting to see. These are our first takers. These will be our drivers who are, safe to say, would be hoping for no more safety cars for coming towards the end of this race. Of course, just solid sailing and then convert that. Maybe actually a safety car right after this restart would work in their favour, because you wouldn't figure many other drivers would fancy pitting this early on their stint. They'll be, of course, running all the way to the end of the race. They'll be hoping that you lose less than 25, 30 seconds to the leaders to come out after their pit stops in front of them, and then just defend like hell for the last stint. That'll be the idea that they'll be running with at the minute, it looks like.
I think they are pitting a little bit too early to try and make it to the end. They'll be hoping. I reckon they'll be hoping for a safety car around lap 20, so they can put on a set of sauce.
Yeah, absolutely. Although
I think running 23 laps on a set of hards is a very long way around here, especially with the spin rate that we've had tonight.
Absolutely. The amount of rear end grip that this track has been providing hasn't favoured people struggling for grip. So it hasn't been favouring those who've had plenty of grip. So you want to have your wits about you if you're running a long stint. So a safety car could work further for you. We've got Nico in chat, not particularly pleased with what's happened. I can absolutely understand where you're coming from. Chin up. You've got a race win, you'll get more. I have no doubt. So,
great pace tonight.
Absolutely. Got Skipper. He's going to join the fresh hards trainer by the looks of things. Serving his penalty while he does it as well. So yeah, smart choice. Don't let it stack up to your final race time. Although he would serve it regardless because he hadn't pitted yet. But that'll put him right at the back of the train, right in front of his teammate in 16. So this is where we're at the minute. We'll have a quick look at how our positions are looking, just for fun. Again, a lot of big movers and shakers. Achauri and Snoopaloops sneaking under our radar a bit. They've jumped up 12 positions each, from 18th and 20th up to 6th and 8th, if my maths has served me right there. So that's a fantastic run from them already. They'll be hoping to keep up that solid form. It's a very solid form. I'd be happy with that. Trainee, of course, right in between them. I got his starting position wrong. He's up 8 positions as well. So he's looking good as well. Again, we expect to see him climb up, and we expect to see him right up at the front of these guys as well. And of course, starting on pole and leading very comfortably in the sprint. So plenty to wait for, plenty to be hyped up for. Well, we see the safety car come in this lap. Generally, if the warning doesn't come now, it'll be another lap. But Codemasters might just give us the benefit of the doubt. Revelitz will be hoping it stays out for another lap because he's still going through the back chicane. But we want to see some racing. Catch up, son.
Speaking of racing, I'm now stuck on the race director screen. Maybe I can't.
Are you not able to get out of the race director screen?
No.
What, pressing escape isn't doing it?
No.
Well, that's a new one.
Well, I have to leave the session and join something so they don't have any content issues.
That is a new one.
Yes.
Men needs you need some software like my guy.
Right. It's most universe telling me. Laptops aren't the future apparently.
No, doesn't look like it. Now, what's happened here? It looks like Nameless Guy's come in. He's going to chuck on a fresh set of hearts. Unfortunately, as we see Adam leave, he grabbed himself a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so that won't be particularly ideal. As I'm sure everybody will agree. Another one worth mentioning, Philly. He's done a fantastic job again. We've seen him show great pace so far in Season 6, in whichever division we've seen him race in. Of course, we've seen him in a couple, if not ever he serves. And he's up 9 positions as well. So keep your eyes open on him. We've got plenty of people coming up through this pack. Of course, taking advantage of people having the odd issue here and there. Bevo, of course, he's sitting pretty in 5th. Haven't seen him do anything particularly extreme so far, but you know, we're only 8 laps in. We're just shy of the 3rd race distance. There's no need to show all your cards just yet. So this is still such a tight-knit field. dead excited to see what happens. Again, HK is holding station up at the front. As you see, there we go. There's the notification we've been waiting for.
There we go. He's back.
There we go. He's back in the session. Will the game give him the gift of sight?
Probably. I got sight. I can see. Now, quick fastest lap update.
Yep.
Philly has currently got the fastest lap with a 27.1.
Yep.
HK and Svet are very close on a 27.6 and a 27.7, so fairly close up in the top couple right now.
Fairly close. I'm curious to see how they will come down as the track gets rubbered in as well. Now, when will HK go? We saw Nico wait till fairly late on. Is HK going to do something similar? It looks like he's going to do the exact same thing. He takes off right at the apex of the last corner. And it's worked out fairly well. He's got a fantastic start. Philly got a blinding start, almost pulls alongside coming across the line. He goes around the outside of Stormlad. Stormlad's not letting him have it. He's going to make him hang out wide. Now they come through.
Stormlad's around.
Stormlad's around. I missed that. I was busy mucking around with my buttons again. Where is he now? He's going to be right back down,
He's last.
He'll be spewing with that. He was showing great form and great pace, and now it's all undone. Who's that gone? That's a Cherry who's gone around as well. He was having a fantastic run of it as well, so now he's out down at the back. As we see, it's kicking off out the front. HK and SV going side by side. Again, SV looking to take the lead back. Side by side battle for 5th as well. As we see, is SV going to go? Oh, HK getting a bit taily on the exit. That's actually brought Svit a little bit, and that's brought Philly right into it. That's worked in his favour.
Philly has had an unreal restart here, making up 2 positions on both the Red Bulls.
Absolutely. Is SV going to try and go around this outside, coming on the end of this back straight? He tries it, it's not going to work. He goes for the cutback, doesn't quite work out for him, but he's itching, isn't he? He's itching to make ground. He obviously feels that if he was at the front, he has the pace to check out. But they're making him work for it, I tell you what. And I think Philly's probably thinking in the same boat right now. HK's got to be driving the widest Ferrari on earth right now.
Yeah.
Streaming through our first flying laps since the safety car came in. No fastest laps yet, of course. There's been plenty of defending going on. What will we see what's up on the next flying lap? I'm looking here. So Philly looks to be chomping at the bit right now. He's swarming all over, looking for different lines, looking to just make a pest out of himself. He sort of seldom looks up the inside, but doesn't commit to it. Again, just getting in HK's mind. I'm sure HK will be wise to it, but he's really trying. It's going to make him work for it. There you go. HK moves right over to the other side of the track.
All defensive now. We've got the slipstream battle going now.
Absolutely. He's trying to break the toe. None of them touch the ARS. They want to conserve it, so we didn't see any manoeuvres happen there. Further back to the field we see Trenny or Windows tries to go up the inside of Snoop. Doesn't quite work. He's going to come out alongside Trenny. Doesn't give him any track position. He's going to make him work for it. Crosso Dog's licking his lips. He's going to have a go as well. Although Trenny is looking to bite back ASAP. So we have a yellow flag. That looks like that's a Cherry's gone around at the back. But Trenny's gone round the outside of his teammate through that long left-hander. That's a fantastic manoeuvre we love to see. And just like that, he will nab P6 from his Mercedes teammate. So what are we going to see him do after that?
It's a bit of a gap to build into Snowpool here, so a couple laps of pushing and we'll be top 5, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's a good call. Again, he's showing great pace. Again, what will be interesting to see, of course, the top, here's the last of the runners on 10-lap old tyres. Everybody behind is pitted under safety car so far. As you see his teammate run a little bit wide, but that would be one reason why he'd be keen to keep his track position on his teammate and all the other drivers behind him, because they've got that tyre advantage. 5 laps, you probably won't feel that much of a difference, but it is a difference nonetheless. So if you can consolidate your track position, that's a great thing.
Philly's going for a move down the inside. He's got the move stick going down the straight for the lead.
Made it look easy, didn't he?
He did.
So are we going to see him check out now? I'm sure SV will be looking at that and be very, very worried that he's going to try and pull a gap. He's already started the effort. He's put out 6 tenths already in just one corner, or 2 corners if you want to be pedantic. So with the DRS SV not quite able to get close enough to HK. That Ferrari has solid straight line speed at the minute. So as we see,
something to keep in mind. Philly does have a 5-second penalty up his sleeve that he needs to serve at some stage. So
that is true.
He's got to put quite a lead on.
It's true. We will expect to see him serve that when he pits. So that'll be one big. He'll be hoping that HK can hold up SV as much as possible, so that he can build up that gap for when the pit stop comes, so that he can either keep the lead or not have much more ground to make up after that 5-second hold. That'll be big for him. As we see Azza in chat cheering him on. As he should. Nothing like a good bit of team representation in chat.
Yes.
Now, coming through the pack, again, it's all fairly line astern, but very close gaps. As I say that, we've had Salty and Zed go around. He's going to collect himself. He's not quite within range of the camera, but... yeah, now, if we look at the tail end of the top 10, still fairly line astern, as I've already said, but it's, again, it's hard to find... it seems like it's looking like it's difficult, I should say, if I can get my words out, to try and find time to get manoeuvres done. Just getting that extra little, closing down that gap that extra little bit. As I say, that SV goes around the outside of HK, heading into that long left-hander at the end of the back straight. So he's mincing my words, isn't he? He's going to carry the speed, and he's got him cleared. So what are we going to? We're going to see him close that gap down. You'd expect to see it, given SV's pace in the first round of the season. But Philly's shown red-hot pace already this race, but again, he's got that 5-second time penalty, so it looks like we'll see him lose that position when they come in, which is going to be now. Philly comes in now, HK follows suit. We're going to see anybody else. Yeah. Looks like everybody else is going to stay out. Of course, very few, only the top 6 would be your main takers you'd expect to see come in. Looks like, because of course everybody else is on relatively younger tyres. So where are Philly and HK going to come out? If they can come out with some relatively clean air, it might be alright. They can just focus on themselves. Philly comes out a fair few seconds behind HK. Of course, that's what you'd expect to see after having served that 5-second. But now he's off the hook. He can carry on racing like normal. Nothing will affect his result. Of course, touch wood if there's no other collision or penalty.
A little bit of clean air for HK with Rebels in front, about 3 seconds ahead. So
he'll be looking to make the most of that. Again, yeah. If his pace is red hot, which you'd expect to see on fresh tyres, especially compared to those second-hand mediums on the cars in front of him, they may form a little bit of an issue, a bit of a roadblock up ahead, but I'm not sure. I'll be curious to see. The two Mercedes, sorry, they have not given each other a break. They've been right on each other since the drop of the green, and they're and yeah, they're not trading punches with each other.
Reminds me of a Nico Rosberg versus Lewis Hamilton in 2016.
Does look a little bit like that, doesn't it? Because we both know they've got good pace, especially, particularly Trenny. But again, that was for a very short amount of time. He was on pole by virtue of being 10th in the championship, so don't want to conflate him too much. So who's that coming? That's Svit who's come in. So where's that? He's going to come on for the hards. He's looking to cover the likes of HK and Philly. He looks like he'll have the track position though when he comes back out. Of course, the HK still coming around the last corner now. What this has done is this has given Bevo and
very close.
Smith the lead. So yeah, we'll stick with our effective leaders as they come out. It looks like SV's going to come out right behind his teammate Stormlad. He's got a few seconds in hand. He'll be happy with that. That's a very good run for him. It looks like the undercut hasn't quite worked for HK. Or Philly. So Bevel and Smith can look at that data with a little bit of optimism. If it's anything to go by. It could have just been Svit with clean air though. He's had pace like that.
Ooh.
Now,
as Man of Tin's gone round coming out of the chicane.
Oh, indeed he has. He's going to drop him a bunch of positions. Again, not a night for Aston Martin to remember. It's not looking like. He had clawed himself back up into the points, but that's all been undone now, unfortunately. As I see, ooh, Windows getting very taily on the brakes, clouding the curb on the way through on the inside of his teammate. Didn't quite get enough of an overlap. Oh, Trenny's gone round, and his teammate's gone into him.
And he's out again.
Is he? Oh, he's absolutely. Yeah, he's completely out of the race. It knocked his wheel off, and it's
And
going
we've
to
got a
bring out
full
another
safety
safety
car.
car. Goodness me. A tale of woes for Trenny. It has to be said.
If I was Bevo right now, Bevo on Snoop Loop, I'd be pitting.
Absolutely. Especially if
Yeah.
you've got the safety car behind you now. If you stick to your Delta, you'd be better off. If they were stuck behind the safety car, I'd say they'd be in a tricky spot. But yeah.
South and Man of 10 have come in. So I still load Reblets.
Absolutely, they'll just be coming in for some fresh rubber. Try and brighten their nights up. Of course, they're all out of the points heading into this pit stop. They'll just be looking for any bit of advantage they can get. So, take a second to breathe as the safety car sits parked on the exit of turn 4, waiting for the pack to circulate. So, of course, your call here. If you were in the position of the top 2 right now, you would absolutely come in for fresh rubber.
You'd have to. It's the only logical move.
Absolutely, because of course you've done half the race on these sets of tyres. You've got to chuck on some new ones. So, and of course you lose less time on the safety car Delta, so they could come out probably not in front of the likes of Zvit and HK, but right there with them. So it'll be interesting to see. As we see, Salty's been given a penalty for speeding on the safety car. The old Codemasters Delta's doing a dirty again. It looks like.
I think it'll be very close for Bevo to come out. As they both come in. There we go.
Here we go. Are we going to see anybody else behind come in? Yeah, you'd be surprised. Yeah, they're all going to stay out. As you see Snoop getting right up to the back of Bevo on the way in. That was close. He's trying to gain as much time as he can on the car in front. So we'll see him switch onto the mediums and a new front wing.
Snoop Loop. Yep, there we go.
And then we'll see Bevo come out in a fresh set of hards. He's going to leapfrog a lot of them. It looks like he'll come out ahead of Zvit. Snoop is going to lose out just purely by virtue of that longer pit stop. But it's actually going to be close between Zvit and Bevo. Who's going to come out of the two of them? It's going to be Zvit. Zvit just about grabs it.
Big move and shakers for the race, Nick. Rosso Dog up 18 positions so far.
Far out. That's a fantastic race, isn't it?
And old mate James up 12 and Skipper up 11. So some fairly big movers up in the top 7.
Absolutely. Again, this is one thing you see when safety. This is one thing you see when safety cars come out. You see a lot of dark horses coming through. Again, the likes of Robbie and old mate James, and even to an extent both of the Alpines of Nameless Guy and Skipper, they've been fairly under our radar since this race started. But here we are, half race distance, and they're right up there. Granted, they will be on older rubber than a handful of the cars behind them, but they're still in a very good position. And if they get the elbows out, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
I think there might be a few bus stops coming up, I reckon.
I reckon. It looks like safety cars have bred safety cars, and there's still plenty of laps to do.
Definitely not to forget for Stormlight and Robots, though, down 12 and 7 positions respectively.
Absolutely. Particularly especially since those two have been, you would consider them competitors for the championship right now. They've both showed very good performances in the first 2 rounds. I mean, sure, luck has wavered between the two of them, but we both know that they've both got good front-running pace. And again, this is just one of those nights where neither of them have been able to convert it, whether it be luck or circumstances. It just hasn't quite worked out. So,
as Salty's coming into the pits, do you think this could be a move?
Sorry, I'll stop talking over the top of you. How about?
It is a move for the softs. He's putting the softs on.
I feel like he might be. Surely he'll be banking on another safety car. You can't do 12 laps on softs.
Not green laps anyway.
No, not at all.
It was definitely a gamble, I reckon, but
We've got a request in chat to show tyres. There we go. Thank you, Lemon.
lemon green and lemonade right now.
That's right. Get some citrus in this chat. So, again, we're in the same old scenario. The front runners are on the oldest rubber. And Of course, naturally that will happen after most safety cars. You obviously, there are some takers coming for freshies, and all the older runners are left to up at the front, relishing in the track position, but then they've got all the defending to do when the green flag comes out. I'd love to see it. So we'll see the safety car come in at the end of this lap, and then we can place our bets on who will come out on top over these next 12 laps. What are your predictions right now? I'll put you on the spot.
Well, Crosso Dog on the medium tyres, I think, could become the top dog of this event. The way it stands.
Was that just for the punt, or is that your genuine prediction?
Well, the pun's always good, but he's been keeping up with windows and been up onto pace, and the leaders have to fight their way through some traffic, so it's just a matter of whether this medium's going to last another 22 laps.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's the part that I'm dubious about. Because yeah, as you're saying, by the end of this race, those mediums will have done 22 laps, and they will feel very, very average by the end of that.
What about you, Nick, as we're getting ready to go green? Who's your shout?
I'm still thinking SV, as Crosso Dog jumps way early, and that's given him a massive lead. He's caught almost the whole field napping as the green flag comes out. Robbie loses the back end.
Or wide even.
Robbie loses the back end coming out the last corner and loses a position to old mate James. SV going up the inside of Nameless Guy as soon as the green comes out. That's worked out fairly well for him. He's already started his climb up through the ranks. As the rest of the field filters their way through, it looks like everything's fairly clean. But very, very spread out. That restart from Crosso Dog, that choosing to go at the second last corner, caught everybody else off guard almost. There's almost like half a second gap between every other car out there. Until you get to, of course, these fresh tyre runners, the likes of HK, Bevo, and Philly and Skipper, Middle State, and SV. SV's already up to 50. He's grabbed the second Alpine.
Is it too late to change my prediction now, or?
I don't think so. But I mean, I think we know what you're going to be saying.
Yeah. As Philly dropped down to 11th, battling with HK. Or even Snooper Loop. I might get that name right eventually.
No, he doesn't make it easy for you.
Oh, that's a bit of contact. They're still
Is this
fighting for that trophy.
Is this between the two Ferraris or?
Snooper Loop and Philly.
Oh yeah, look at that battle for 10th. Yeah, it's going side by side. Corner by corner, they're going side by side, and Philly ends up losing the position to Snoop.
Testing the limits of those tyre rod ends.
They are absolutely. Right on the back of him on the brakes, giving each other just enough room to avoid collision. Love that sort of racing. Oh, who's that going around? That's a Cherry again. Oh, he's not had luck tonight. Spin City's been claiming him as a victim.
Salty's coming in to serve a penalty by the looks of it.
Yep, he's absolutely due to, so they'll get that out of the way and you can knuckle down for these last 11 laps. Let's see, our top two
SV is all over the back of Robbie now.
There we go, we're going to see a dive bomb coming into this first chicane, no doubt. Robbie doesn't even cover. On the brakes, he's got the overlap, and it looks like he'll clear him, yep, fairly easily. Will we see old mate James fall a victim on this next corner? You would expect it. Is he going to come into the inside? No, he doesn't.
Yes.
Let him on by.
Wave the sister team by.
Yeah, damn right. Forgot to consider that. So SV is up into P2 and is looking like a red hot ticket to be next up at the front, joining the top two. Who, to be fair to them, they've pulled a decent gap, 2.3 seconds.
I think Crosso Dog will start to be suffering soon, I reckon.
I reckon you're right as well. It's again, he's starting to be feeling fairly second-hand. Windows isn't putting him under too much pressure right now, but look at that. In the last sector, SV has gained 3/4 tenths of a second in these two, so it's only a matter of time before he gets all in amongst these guys. Well, that all gets put on the boil, on the simmer, I should say. I've got to have a look back at the tail end of the top 10. All these fresh tyre runners, all stuck in the queue behind the two Alpines. It looks like a nameless guy and Skipper, the head of the train at the minute, and everybody else behind looking to be fighting for any little bit of room they can find. Bevo and HK in close proximity now, coming down this back straight. And now they're going to go 3 wide, it looks like. Snoopaloo doesn't know where to go. I think he'll just have to sit back and watch. HK and Bevo almost come together. They're going side by side. The camera refuses to look at them. There we go. And Bevo's going to
It's not the worst place to sit. It's not the worst place to sit and watch, though, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. It's all kicking off behind. Those two still go side by side, but cars are going everywhere behind him. As Snoopaloo and Philly go side by side again. Skip has been absolutely dumped by the lot of 5 cars now. Started the lap in 7th and he's now down in 12th.
And Stealth's had a little spin.
Stuff that's going around, not what he would have been liking to see. These two cars have not given each other a break in the last the last few laps. Snoop and Philly all over each other. As Snoop loses the back end, gets a bit taily, has to flick spin it to avoid hitting the wall.
A bit of Gymkhana action there.
Looks like it. Back end looser than me bowels after Buffalo Chicken.
That was a good one.
Thanks, mate. I'll let everyone rest on that. This has allowed this pack to split up a little bit. There's a bit of a gap falling between these guys. Yeah, genuinely, I think that might be a good thing. Give everyone a bit of time to collect themselves, have a breather, decide how quick they are, decide what moves they want to make. The battle up the front's been intriguing me somewhat because we've seen SV, I should say, pull about half a second back since we last checked. But the main thing to focus on now is Windows is all over the tail across O-Dog, so we may see a dive bomb in the not too distant future. In fact, he's going to pull up to the right now, side by side. Once he pulls out of the slipstream though, he doesn't have that much of a pace advantage. He hits that big wall of air and can't really gain that much more ground on him. By no means enough to be able to send it around the outside through that long left-hander, so he's going to have to wait in the wings for another lap. Or sector.
It's just pulling in the... It's just pulling in them tenths now. He's down to 6 tenths and he's right on the back of them now.
Look at that. Through those series of right angle corners, he absolutely reeled them in. It was 1.1 seconds at the end of that back straight, and now it's come down to 4 tenths. That's the pace I expected to see from him a lap ago. But regardless, he's now right on the back of them now. He'll be at the back of this DRS train as they come around now onto the back straight. In fact, he might even have a go at Windows on the run into turn 5. Will we see him do it? Again, you wouldn't typically see drivers make that maneuver because you're just much better off waiting until the back straight. He's got a fantastic run. Or he has to check up actually to not go into the back of Windows. That's what reset his run. But he's actually not quite staying on the ARS. None of these guys are. They're trying to save it up. So we won't see a dive bomb just yet. Oh, never mind. Windows has gone up the inside of Bosso Dog. Got on board with his feet. He tries to go around the outside of both of them. Has to go off the track to avoid hitting anyone. And that's dropped Bosso Dog back into P3. So it's all kicked off now between these three. Crosso Dog again gets dumped to the back. You're afraid to say it, but he may end up just getting stuck, getting a bit banished back there now on the oldest tyres. But regardless, this is a great run from Windows. Honestly, I did not expect to see him this far up the field or battling for the win. But regardless, he's there and he's holding strong. Although SV is testing his mettle pretty hard right now. Right on the back of him, almost touching his gearbox going through those 90-degree corners. That is where SV has had the pace so far. Every time he's gained a bucket load of time, and looks like he may have a fair amount of wing on that thing. As we come across the line now, we have
6 laps remaining.
6 or 7 laps to go, I believe. Yep, coming through now. So plenty of time for SV to make a move still. But you figure he's not going to wait long, is he?
No, he wants to get over and done with it just in case of the safety car, I reckon.
Absolutely, because that is absolutely something that can happen again.
Especially with how feisty that midfield is, anything's possible.
Absolutely, that pack is still right up amongst each other. And we see SV in the slipstream, they're both heavy on the ERS. SV actually gets off the ERS, but Windows hasn't got any left, pretty much. He's running in single digits right now, so he loses the back end through the second half, through the second part of the chicane, but again, that's actually gaining a little bit of time as SV had to check up. But he's heavy on the ERS now. He'll have a lot more to play with than Windows. He fakes left and dives right. Is he going to go around the outside?
He's going to give it a shot.
He pins him down, and that's going to give him a great run on the exit. Keeps the apex nice and the radius nice and wide, and he's got a good run, and he's cleaned him up just like that. Windows goes to dive back. It's a very harsh maneuver, and he's going to spin.
You didn't.
There was a bit of desperation outweighing ambition there for... Oh, no, not ambition, sorry. Ambition outweighing talent, I believe is the old saying, unfortunately for Windows. He's recollected himself pretty well, actually, still in P4 now and amongst the different battle of cars, although his rears will be red hot after that one.
Like my face after a 10k run.
There you go. You do those? Anyway.
I thought about it.
Oh, there you go. See, a yellow flag. Oh, that's Crosso Dog who's gone around.
So he's got a mad dog right now, I reckon.
He'll be not happy at all, no. He's going to be jumped right back outside the points now. So what that's done is that's given SV a 6.5 second lead in just one lap because both the two drivers behind him have had their various incidents. That's given back Windows a provisional podium position. So I suppose he can't be too miffed with that. Still plenty of battle to be done now. Of course, he's got Robbie ahead of him, who's just been he's been smart so far tonight. So Philly dives up the inside of Bevo. Stormline waiting in the wings right behind him. Oh, in fact, they've collided. Did Philly lose the back end coming through that corner, and then Stormline just didn't really have anywhere to go. HK's all over the back of him. He's going to be going up the inside.
Windows has made the move stick on... Oh no, they're battling side by side, sorry. Because Windows made the move stick on him now for good, I reckon.
Oh, did he do an SV on him, go around the outside with a long left-hander? Very, very good manoeuvre to see. So it looks like he's got no damage as a result of that collision with...
There's been a big collision by HK and Philly. Both of them lost their front wing.
Oh, they have two. HK's been given a penalty for it, or the FIA is going to have some busy work to do tonight, or over the next couple of days. That's a shame for both of them, because both of them showed great pace, and they were both battling for really strong positions, and now it's all come undone with less than 10 laps to go. But now we've got ourselves a bit of a train now in the battle for second. It goes all the way down to P6 for the likes of Bevo. Stormlight, who's actually done a very good recovery after being down as low as 15th, I believe it was, after his first little incident. So he's recovered place as well. Comfy, a nice little haul of points, but regardless of what I've been looking for. But this battle for P2 is still raging. Windows has grabbed P2 and he's looking to be trying to make a break for it. He's got 7/10 in hand now. In fact, it's shrunk down to half a second by virtue of DRS. But his teammate Bevo, Robbie's teammate Bevo, goes up the inside of old mate James. James is going to keep him there, but doesn't quite have can't give himself the run of the exit. Gives him racing room. Sacrifices his exit speed.
Maybe a yellow flag in the second sector. It's all cleared up now.
I didn't see what that was for. Could that have been for Snoop? Because now he was right on the back of Stormlight, and now he's been got Skipper around his outside. That could have been it. So we'll see how he's going to defend that position. No dramas, but.
Even old mate James are going side by side through the fast right-handers.
Good call. He's fought back straight away as old mate James. Again, they're playing for keeps now. No strategy left to be played. It's just the position you're in now is what you're going to score. So you've got to try and grab it while you can still have it.
Drive at 110% for 3 more laps.
That's right. So coming through now. There's still a 3-car fight for P2. Windows hasn't been able to pull a gap on Robbie. It's still sitting around half a second. In fact, it's slightly diminishing as we go through this first sector. So coming onto this back straight, he'll still have to keep his wits about him. He's restored his ERS a little bit, so he'll have a bit more to fight with than when he was battling for the lead with SV a few laps ago. So coming onto the straight now, he's 7/10 back. It won't be close enough to have a go coming onto the end of the straight. And in fact, the field is somewhat spread out. Actually, no, I say that Bevo and old mate James are taking lumps out of each other once again. Bevo going around the outside of James. He keeps it in there. Inverted positions from last lap, and old mate James is going to do the same thing straight back. If anything you can do, I can do better. Bevo says, nah, that's not happening, mate. He goes up the inside again, takes the position. Looks like old mate James tries to go for the cutback, but there's not enough room for it. He has to back out of it. He'll have to wait until the next lap. Stormlight will be looking at this. He's got the popcorn out, closing right in on this. He'll be trying to get into it. See if he can grab a top 5, which would be an amazing feat after what the first half of this race turned out to be.
We're cracking a can of Red Bull and hoping for the best here.
Absolutely. So you see, Snoop's grabbed himself a penalty for corner cutting. Not what you like to see. Oh, is that old mate James who's gone around? Now,
Oh, my James is going around.
yeah, I think there wasn't any collision there, was there, with Stormlight? I didn't think the gap was... I think there was too much of a gap between them for there to be one, but when I saw him go around, they were really close to each other.
It looked very curb-like, I think. But
yeah, again, this is the track that would do it to you if it were the curbs. So, again, yeah. Oh, mate, James, again, it's a shame. I was really enjoying that battle he was having with Bevo.
I think the battle between Robbie and Windows is calmed down a little bit.
It has somewhat. We've seen
For now.
Nameless go. Yeah, for now. Yeah. Again, we'll see. We've got 2.5 laps to go now, so I have no doubts that they're still pushing. Sorry, but again, if anyone's got a tiny little bit left, whether it be ERS or a little bit of tyre, yeah, you save it up maybe for that last lap dash. But I doubt that's what Robbie's doing. He's now out of DRS range of Windows, and Windows. Winding it on. Maybe Robbie's just running out of a little bit of grip. I don't think... Oh, they've got the same age tyres, so it wouldn't be that sort of thing. Oh, Bevo's gone around as well.
Gone around, so Stormlight's in the top 5 after his horrendous first half of the race.
Absolutely, so... Oh, is he beached on the curb as well? Looks like he is. He'll have to quickly reset the track. I found out last week. You don't get a penalty for it. It looks like he might just stay there, which is a shame to see. He might get disqualified. He was, again, put on a fantastic show up a bucket load of positions from where he started. He still sat there. He's been disqualified, yeah, so he didn't reset. That's a shame to see. But yeah, as you said... Oh, mistake.
Oh, you, sorry.
Oh. So, yeah, not what you like to see. Again, the ruling is in this series, if you do get beached on a curb, you are allowed to reset the track. It's the only case you're allowed to do it, but in that case, obviously, it didn't happen, and he's been disqualified, unfortunately. Not the show he would have been expecting to see, and not the show we know he was capable of, given where he was battling. We could have ourselves a little last-minute battle here. By the way, SV is absolutely checked out. 12 seconds now. He's setting quick laps for fun now. He'll be chuffed with this one. I think again, the return to ARL after his 1 week break that everyone, I feel like all of his rivals were scared to see. This battle for third has still got some heading up to do, although it looks like whatever happens, Robbie will take the position unless something dire happens, because Nameless Guy does have a time penalty to deal with. As you see, a yellow flag in the first sector. That's just one of the Haas. Not the night that Haas would have been looking for, particularly for Revlets. Again, he's shown. I mean, he's got great pace, but it just hasn't quite worked out for him. Now we come across the line for the final lap.
Who's your pick for driver of the day today, Nick?
Oh, I want to say Robbie, just because he's kept his nose clean all night and he's in a provisional podium position because of it. He may not have had the ultimate all-and-out race pace, but he's just converted it really well. Both him and Windows have done really well. I mean, of course, you've got to give credit to SV going from the middle of the top 10 and then just biding his time, battling his way through against some amazing overtakes we saw, and then just absolutely checking out the front. Again, the pace that we're used to seeing, place we're used to seeing SV, reigning ARL champion, of course, for season 5.
Sorry, Nick. Snookerloop just made a move on Stormlight coming out of the hairpin, going down the back straight. So
I'm glad you mentioned it. I just caught that out of the corner of my eye. He has taken the position. Again, that is for position because I believe they both have the same level of penalty. But regardless, Stormlight will probably have one last chance to have a go at it, but may not see it. Again, likewise for Nameless.
Both 3-second penalties.
Oh yeah, there you go. So that is her position. Nameless Guy maybe having a last look at Robbie, but again, it won't really convert to anything by virtue of his penalty. But coming around the last corner now, SV comes back in style from a 1 week break. It takes a win that turned out to be fairly dominant in the end. Show that great pace, doing exactly what the Red Bull is known for in this day and age. Windows does a fantastic job to bring home second. Again, a bit of a dark horse. Didn't expect to see him this far up the I'm surprised to see him this far up at the field. Again, I didn't expect to see it, but regardless, fantastic result. Robbie in same boat for him, P3. Snoop as well. He had after again a sprint race to forget. He's come through for P4, and by virtue of Nameless Guy's 5-second penalty, grabs it by only 300. So Snoop will be happy. He sent it pretty hard on that last lap. And Stormlight will bring home himself P6 as well after a dodgy first half of the race, so he'll be pretty happy with that too. Or at least consulate. And then behind that, we've got the likes of Skipper and Old Mate James. Old Mate James will be a bit miffed after battling up at right up at the podium positions and then looping it with a few laps to go. Man of Tin and Crosso Dog. Again, we believe again, they score points, but we believe they had more pace than that to show. But again, fortune didn't favour them tonight. Let's just see our last finish has come across the line now. It is SV who is our race winner, who is going to be our driver of the day according to Codemasters.
Oh, I agree with the pace, but Snoople has got my driver of the day on my screen.
It's given the Snoop, absolutely. So, again,
Well,
he came from... Actually, he gained a bucket load of positions. He was right at the back, so I'd say that would absolutely be deserved. Again, he did the same thing as what Robbie did, just stayed out of trouble. That seemed to be the moral of the story. Just keep your nose clean and you should be right.
Oh, yeah, there we go. There's the gritty.
I'm not seeing the gritty, I'm seeing a loading screen.
Whoops.
It's alright, we can imagine the gritty. There we go, SV taking the win. We'll have a quick look at the race director. So, also, SV takes fastest lap with that. Oh, sorry, he doesn't take fastest lap. Who took fastest lap? I missed that. It was Philly, wasn't it? Philly took fastest lap, and of course he didn't score.
No, Reblets.
Reblets did? Oh, okay.
Reblets and P13.
Ah, there you go. Regardless. Oh no, the race director won't load up. We need to see the incidents. I'm going to have to send a nasty letter to EA. Can't believe it. Regardless, that's going to make life a bit more tricky for the FIA, unfortunately. I didn't want that to happen. But regardless... I mean, what were your take-homes from that one? Because yeah, there you go. It's disappeared, I'm afraid.
It's good night of racing, lots of spinning, lots of action in the midfield. SV just walking away with the race. Never looked in doubt once he got in the lead. It just looked calm and plain sailing.
Absolutely. He made it look easy, didn't he?
He did. Although it's a nameless guy, P5, on a 3-stop strategy.
Oh, he did too, didn't he? He came in a whole bunch of times, and yeah. I mean, that's one thing that can help you with always having fresh rubber, especially when you get safety car after safety car. So the strat can work, so obviously it has, and he's grabbed himself P5, which is good to see.
Reblet's getting the 5-stop strategy executed to perfection.
Yeah, a little bit of sarcasm in there. So it looks like we're not quite going to be able to see the race director, unfortunately, but we'll jump in for some interviews. So can we find our race winner? No better man to interview in the moment, I don't think. So let's bring him in. G'day SV, you've returned to the ARL with style after your 1 week break. Congrats on that, to what turned out to be a fairly dominant win.
Thanks, boys. Oh my god, I love this track. It's so fun.
Yeah, this is one of those tracks, isn't it? It's sort of, you know, it's a bit of a polarizer. Obviously, this track seems to sync fairly well with you after what we've seen from you tonight.
Yeah, dog. The car just felt so good. It's just sticking. But then I was having doubts after the sprint. Like, I don't know what happened turn one, but I got rear-ended going into it lap one of the sprint, and then the next corner there was just everyone on their brakes, so I got scared. I was doing the entire sprint with a broken wing, but I managed to recover from what looked like was going to be a bad result, and then in the feature got lucky at the start with a few DNFs, but then the strategy I made, I thought I wasn't going to be able to win because everyone in front of me was just on the same tires. They weren't going to pit again, but luck just flew my way and I managed to pull something out of nothing.
So, I mean, it didn't seem like you had nothing, I'll be honest. Your race pace was ridiculous. But I'll tell you what, we love watching those battles that you were having in the top three after the last safety car came in. That was wild.
Thanks, mate. It was fun, definitely. It was a bit scary. I don't know what happened with Windows at some point, but going into the corners section in Sector 3, I don't know whether I braked too well and didn't expect it or what happened, but there's a little bit of contact. I don't know whose fault it was. I'll have a chat to him after the interview.
Ah, yeah, there you go. We'll probably bring him in as well, of course, being one of our podium sitters for the night. But of course, it'll be a polarizing one again, just giving each other your all, I should say, if I can get any words out. But yeah, I'd say congratulations. Adam, do you have anything you'd like to ask? Oh, Unless you've got something.
Going into the next round, how are we feeling?
Monaco, oh, another track I love. I love all these hard tracks. My pace around them is, they're the only tracks I can get top 500 in the world in. And I don't know, I love them. They're so fun. They're just, yeah. So Monaco will be exciting to see where I can start, where I can finish. But I need a big comeback if I want anything to come out of this championship with a rough start.
I think with your pace like that, it'd be interesting to see how you push forward. I think it'll be hard to stop tracks you enjoy. So
Yeah, thanks, mate. Good luck with your boys' races as well.
Yeah, no, no worries. Thank you as well.
Thank you.
Again, we are very intense racers here in the commentary booth as well. Must be said.
What div are you
But yeah.
using? Prodigy or what?
Just in the com box.
Yeah, we're just in the com box, mate.
Oh,
Mate, we
get
talk the
in there,
talk, but we
boys.
don't walk the
Use what
walk.
destroy. Get in there. Use what walk it. No effect.
Nah, I have my doubts, mate. I have my doubts.
I can't finish a 5-lap race. I don't think I could finish a 50% race.
Well, without a shit like that, no. But I believe in you.
No.
Oh well, maybe one F2 night. I'll jump in.
We sit in the com box while driving. I reckon that's an idea for us one day.
Mate, oh, we did that. We did that once with Apex. That was fun. But yeah, regardless, again, congratulations on the win. We'll see. It looks like you've sent out a fairly ample warning to all your championship rivals. Ready yourselves, because it looks like you're going to come in swinging for the Monaco round, the car killer round.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one, guys.
No worries. You too. You too. Here you go, SV, our race winner. Not the first time we've said that, and it certainly won't be the last. Can we find our P2 earner? I cannot find Windows, unless he's got another name on the Discord server that I've forgotten. But I tell you what, who we can bring in. Can we? I'm trying to find him. Where is he? Is there anyone you'd like to bring in while I try to find him?
Let's have a quick look. Nameless guy. Seems like he could be up for a chat, maybe.
Oh yeah, after that P5. Actually, I think I want to bring in Snoop after bringing home that P4 from the back of the grid. I think that'll be an interesting a couple of questions to ask him, I reckon. Let's go. G'day, Snoop. How are you going? A tasty P4 after that one. Seemed pretty good out there. How was it?
Yeah, it was a really, really hard race. As I normally do, I like to get the rear end out and do a few loop-de-doos, but we managed to bring it back in the end. So, yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, it turned out pretty well. It just seemed like out of over the whole course of the race. I mean, there were you had your odd spin here and there, but you kept your nose relatively clean, and you gained a bucket load of positions from where you started. So I'd say good job.
Yeah, no, I was dreading racing this track, Nick. I was absolutely dreading it, and before the race, I'm not normally too nervous, but before this race, yeah, I was almost shaking because I just didn't think I could keep this car on the track. I feel like I had a few incidents where I probably wasn't left enough racing room, and I was sort of a bit courteous with that. But I mean, to bring home a P4 after starting dead last and having a pretty eventful sprint race, like you said, can't complain with that one. So we'll take that on board and the much needed points to keep everything alive. So yeah, we'll take that one.
I reckon. Just another thing on that last lap when you crossed the line. Of course, Nameless Guy had that time penalty. When you came across the line, you ended up taking that fourth position by just shy of 0.04 of a second.
Really? Was it that close?
Yeah, it was 0.038. How hard were you pushing on that last lap?
Well, I was more concerned about Storm in front of me, obviously. And once I got past him, I knew those mediums were still gripping up quite well. I could see the delta was slowly coming down from Nameless. And sort of once I made that, I was more concerned about not having another mistake and then losing everything that we made. So it was really just trying to stay consistent. And I think that's actually probably what helped me. I'm sure, Nameless might have seen me in his mirror and was probably going, oh, old bugger. But yeah, I was just trying to stay consistent, hit the apexes and get some good exits. And I think I just had enough battery to sort of just get me over the line there. So yeah, stoked with that.
Well, there you go. So yeah, that is a total position gain of, I believe, if my math serves me right, 16 positions off the line. So I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a fun race. So there was some really, really tight racing around that circuit. And as you guys would have seen, there was a few incidents and people going off. It was even the start was pretty crazy. I managed to miss a few spinners or whatnot by inches in the sprint as well. So, but no, we'll move on to next week and be happy with the points that we got today.
Absolutely. Now, of course, next week we have the track that must not be named.
The Principality.
Yeah. What are your thoughts and expectations heading into that one?
Expectations? I don't have any. Yeah, it's one of those ones. It's literally going to be Drive to Survive. I think should be the title of next week because it's seriously going to be one of those. Yeah, it's seriously going to be one of those tracks where you have to keep that front nose clean. That's literally once you ding that, you lose an end plate or something like that, you're going to be done. So qualifying is going to be seriously important as it always is. But especially on Monaco, I mean, track position, as everybody knows, it's everything there. So, yeah, we'll try and get in some time trials and do some quality practice and just try and get some decent laps in and, yeah, see what we can do. But also, it's going to be a test to see where I'm at as a driver, just see how I go about it. So I'm actually looking forward to it. As much as I'm scared of it, I'm actually really looking forward to it. It's sort of the last one of the tracks of the season that I'm not a huge fan of, and then we get onto the good stuff. So I'm just looking forward to next week, get that done with, and then, yeah, we'll move on and hopefully have a nice and prosperous season.
Yep, absolutely. Again, the Ferraris have been showing fairly good pace this season. Both you and HK are battling right up at the front during that race. So I'd say, yeah, keep your chin up. You look like you'll be going forward.
Yeah, unfortunately for HK, he got a little bit unlucky today. He was driving a brilliant race, and as everybody knows, a brilliant driver and an even more brilliant man. So, no, we'll move on to next week as a team. We got Wary and Tadachi tomorrow night, and then we got Apex and Farmer Sam on Thursday. So we'll get behind the team and hopefully get some more points as a whole constructed this week as well.
Absolutely, we'll look to see you up there. Just keep that first lap hairpin front wing discipline in check, and yeah, we'll see some big results. Anything you'd like to say, Adam?
You stole my question straight out of my mouth, but very well done on receiving the Codemasters Driver of the Day.
Yeah, thanks.
Look forward to see some form when you're at a track you actually enjoy, as you said.
Yeah, it should be good. So, thanks for your efforts tonight, boys. Always good.
Thank you.
No worries. We do the hard job, of course.
Yeah, you guys kill it every week. So I love watching the clips back and hearing you guys commentate. So awesome stuff.
Oh, no worries. Well, I'll let you have a nice, relaxing Tuesday night.
Sweet. Thanks, fellas. I'll talk to you around. Cheers.
No worries. Take care.
Thank you.
Ooh, buggered off in his zone. I didn't have to move it.
Okay.
There you go.
He's had enough of this.
The ever charismatic Snoop with taking home P4 after that one. Let's see here. Anybody else who'd like to jump in?
There's no Stormlight hiding, is it?
No, we kind of. Well, yeah, our Stormlight after coming through from the back to the front to the back to the front again.
Yes. Be an interesting perspective to look at or talk about.
It would be. I don't know. We may see again. We've got plenty of them for the FIA to suss out over the course of the next couple of nights as well. So, Bassink will have some late nights, I'm sure.
Do not envy his job at the moment.
No, he just came back from holidays and he's probably wishing he booked in another couple of weeks. But yeah, I reckon as the stream ticks over 90 minutes, I believe that may be Nine Eyes time.
That's feeling.
That's what you feel. I know, but again, that was an amazing race. Again, doesn't disappoint this series. If you want to get involved, that's I'd say absolutely do it. Again, fantastic racing. Again, there's a division for every skill level, and it will make you a better driver. And so we've seen people, of course, come up through the ranks and then end up in elite league, fighting it with the best. And yeah, it's always great to see that sort of stuff. Of course, if you're watching and you're sick of seeing the ads, I know I have been. You can always subscribe to the Twitch channel. by Prime or by other means. We appreciate that a lot.
What you're saying is you haven't subscribed yet.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth on that one. I know it's not America, but I'm pleading the fifth. No. But yeah, regardless, from the two of us, unless Adam is going to disagree with me, hope you all have a very good night, and we'll see you again soon.
I agree completely.
There you go.
There we go.
Concur. So again, yeah, thank you everyone for coming along. Hope you had a great night. I know we did. And yeah, we'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.